What money-saving habits did you adopt during hard times that you still use today, even though you no longer need to? $0 days. Try to go as many days in a row as possible without spending a single dollar. Then try to beat your record. Also, spending just $3 a day adds up to more than $1,000 a year. That is especially easy when you have nothing to spend in the first place. Never go grocery shopping when you are hungry. Eat first. The best advice I have heard is to write your grocery list while you are hungry, but do the actual shopping after you have eaten. Parks and nature trails are free entertainment, and they improve both your physical and mental health. At one point, I fell in love with my slow cooker and had no problem eating the same meal all week. It saves a lot of money, and I still do it because after a year, it became a habit. Learn how to store food properly. Usually, that means freezing it in individual portions and reheating it later. Then you can rotate between different meals instead of eating the same thing all week. Search online for instructions on how to repair something that is broken. If you feel capable of doing it safely, try fixing it yourself. The number of dishonest people in the appliance repair business is unbelievable. YouTube has diagnostic and repair videos for almost every household appliance. I have replaced the ice maker in my freezer, the control board in my dryer, and the inlet valve in my washing machine. Help your neighbors whenever you can, and do not ask for anything in return. In response, people have given me a lot of free food and useful items, or simply helped me out of kindness. My neighbors turned out to be incredibly generous. Add an egg to make a meal more filling. Rice and vegetables are basically a side dish, but fry them with an egg and you have a proper meal. A boiled egg makes instant noodles feel almost gourmet. Toast with a fried egg is already a complete sandwich. Are you secretly my ex? She had a rule that if you could put a fried egg on top of it, it counted as a complete meal. I still follow that rule. The library. The library. The library. My children go through books by the dozen, and using the library saves us about $1,000 a year. Make sure you learn about the other services your library offers. Ours lends out tools, baking pans, and all kinds of random items. I was able to enroll in online courses from a local college for free through my library account. I once needed to use an expensive software program for a personal project, and I was able to use it on a library computer set up specifically for that purpose. It is amazing how many services libraries provide that most people never hear about. Sleep is the cheapest meal. My brother and I called it having sleep for dinner. We were not poor enough to do it constantly, but sometimes it helped us save money. We would drink a lot of water and go to sleep for 8 hours, just to make it to breakfast. Oatmeal with peanut butter is cheap and fairly nutritious. Drinking water with your food can also help you feel full sooner. Soup, spaghetti, or chicken with vegetables and rice. Cook enough for 3 days at a time. When money is tight, keeping a 20 to 40 pound bag of rice in the pantry can save you. I have not been poor for a long time, but I still keep a huge supply of rice at home. You can eat rice with almost anything. Plain rice, rice with eggs, rice with ground meat, or rice with canned chili. My meals were not always delicious, but I never went hungry. When I was a child, my mother always cooked more rice than we needed. We loved it because she served the leftovers as dessert with milk and sugar on top. Now, whenever I cook rice, I deliberately make a little extra so I can eat it for dessert later. It is cheap and pleasantly nostalgic. I am fairly sure she made extra rice so she would not have to buy ice cream. Milk and sugar were inexpensive back then, and fresh milk was delivered to us by a milkman named Graham, who came in a horse-drawn cart. Kindness will take you further in life than almost anything else. I once went to the campus police station to pay a parking ticket. It was almost all the money I had left. Campus parking enforcement was extremely strict because there were never enough parking spaces. I answered the woman at the desk politely, using only, "Yes, ma'am," and "No, ma'am." After the third or fourth question, she suddenly told me that I did not have to pay the ticket. I was confused, and she explained that I was the first student in several days who had spoken to her respectfully. She thanked me and wished me a good day. I practically ran out before she could change her mind. It did not make me rich, but at least I could still afford food that week. If you know that your bank account is definitely going to be overdrawn and there is no way to prevent it, Buy a grocery store gift card before the bank processes the overdraft. At least you will still have access to food and gas, and you may avoid several additional overdraft fees before your next paycheck. Make sure you do the math first, so the large payment, the cost of the gift card, and the total negative balance do not exceed your overdraft limit. Of course, it is better to avoid overdrafts entirely, but when money is scarce, they sometimes happen. Keep old items as backups, especially shoes, glasses, and similar necessities. When something broke, I often could not afford a replacement. If one pair of shoes fell apart, at least I had an older pair to wear, until I could buy new ones. It is strange that this is not obvious to everyone, at least with glasses. Break your glasses once as a child, and you immediately understand why you should keep the previous pair. The same goes for shoes. Whenever I buy new ones, the old pair automatically becomes my gardening shoes. Start saving glass jars. I have not used storage bags in years because I keep everything in jars. I am imagining someone opening the refrigerator and finding a slice of pizza stuffed into a jar. That is hilarious. I am too poor to buy cheap boots. The rich spend less money than the poor, which is why they remain rich. Vimes reasoned. A good pair of boots costing $50 might last 10 years, so a person who can afford them saves money. A poor person buys the cheapest boots available, spends $100 on 10 pairs over the same period, and still has wet feet. That is Captain Vimes's boots theory of socioeconomic unfairness. I still use the free plastic grocery bags as trash bags in the bathroom and home office. Save seeds and plant them. Make compost and turn it regularly. Grow everything you can and preserve whatever you cannot eat before it spoils. When the toothpaste appears to be empty, cut the tube open and scrape out what is left. I crush crackers and mix them into tuna. It adds volume, and I like the taste. Learn how to cut up meat and prepare vegetables yourself. A whole head of lettuce might cost 99 cents, while 10 ounces of pre-cut salad costs $2.49. A whole chicken might cost 99 cents per pound, while chicken breast costs $3.99 per pound. Shop at thrift stores. If you cannot find what you need there, try TJ Maxx, Ross, or similar discount stores. They often have good products at reasonable prices. Toilet paper is cheaper than facial tissues and works just as well. Before going to sleep, I put everything from my pockets into a hat. I started doing it because I spent a long time without a permanent home, sleeping on different people's couches. Add spinach to everything. Scrambled eggs, soup, and salads. The fiber and protein help you stay full longer. Buy the frozen turkeys that stores discount after Thanksgiving. Cook them in batches and freeze the meat. I have done this for several years. I buy about a dozen turkeys, smoke them over the following months, and freeze the meat in portions. It lasts all year, even though I am feeding 2 growing boys. Always carry a reusable water bottle so you do not spend money on drinks away from home. Look for free museum days and ask your library about passes to local attractions. These may include zoos, symphony performances, and educational activities. Your local health department may also provide free vaccinations, medical tests, and other basic healthcare services. When the batteries in a remote control die, remove them and roll them between your hands for 30 to 40 seconds to warm them through friction. They may work again briefly. This will not restore them completely, but it can be enough to reach the channel you want. You can make several days' worth of quesadillas for only a few dollars. Buy the cheapest tortillas, an inexpensive package of turkey, ham, beef, or bacon, store-brand cheese, sour cream, and hot sauce. Add a can of black beans. You will have food for at least 3 or 4 days, and the total can still come in under $10. I stopped eating meat. Lentils, chickpeas, beans, other legumes, and nuts are incredibly inexpensive. Meat is now a luxury in our house, even though we can afford it. I used to hate supermarket pizza, but an air fryer makes it excellent. It tastes almost like pizza from a restaurant. I save a lot of money by buying inexpensive pizza and adding my own toppings, such as olives, extra cheese, and a little oil for a crispier crust. It turns out great. I learned to repair things around the house instead of paying professionals. YouTube has saved me an enormous amount of money. Once a week, I bought a $5 rotisserie chicken from Costco. I also bought instant noodles, rice, beans, and eggs. When I had almost no money, I lived like that for months. Eating 2 meals a day cost me about $50 to $60 per month. This is not the most extreme poverty hack, because it can be difficult to do when you are truly broke, but buy inexpensive meat in bulk and divide it into small freezer bags. It can last for the entire month. There was a period in my life when I had neither running water nor electricity. I bought a camping shower and water containers so I could wash before work. At least I still had an apartment and a blanket to keep me warm. I charged my phone and laptop at work, or at the library so my alarm would function, and I could watch movies from discs. Ever since then, I always make sure my phone is fully charged before I leave work, even though I now have more money than I ever imagined and no debt at all. There are rare exceptions, but store brand products are usually just as good as name brands, and Kirkland products are sometimes better. Beans are a genuine superfood, especially when you cook them from dried. A $1.25 bag of dried beans provides an excellent amount of protein and fiber. I grew up in a comfortable household and was a Boy Scout, but both my father and my wife grew up in severe poverty. Here is what they and my aunt taught me. Honey and salt do not spoil. Smoke or freeze meat before it goes bad. Most canned food remains edible long after its printed date, sometimes for 5 or 10 years, as long as the container is undamaged and the food has been stored properly. Never throw away building materials, especially old lumber. Hardware and fasteners can often be reused. Save sugar packets and bread rolls from restaurants. Keep enough emergency cash to survive for a week or two. In a severe economic crisis, cigarettes, strong alcohol, and ammunition may become valuable barter goods. Your most important resource is your relationship with your neighbors, so treat them well. Help people physically when you can, because over time, that kindness tends to return to you. Save seeds from plants that grow well in your area. Better yet, collect your own. I grow a lot of tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, and similar crops. Reuse cooking fats and oils when it is safe to do so. Some oils can also serve as fuel. Modern solar generators can genuinely save your life during an extended outage. Keep practical tools at home, such as a fishing rod, a sturdy knife, a net, and any legally owned equipment you rely on for hunting or protection. A shovel is essential because it can help you build a basic irrigation system. Be kind. That may be the most important rule. My grandparents belonged to the greatest generation for a reason. Taking care of other people has a way of coming back to you. Get a dog if you do not already have one and can care for it responsibly. A dog can eat suitable leftovers and may also protect you when needed. Remember Maslow's hierarchy of needs. First, secure everything required for survival. These may sound more like survival tips, but when you are poor, you often live close to the edge. Thank you very much for watching. Share your own money-saving habits in the comments below, and do not forget to watch our other videos. Hugs. Bye.